This is Angel Metro, and you are watching BJ and DG right now.
Welcome back, everybody. DJ here. DJ over there.
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody? Hope everybody had a very good Thanksgiving. And sometimes, as always, finally wearing his Kid Legend shirt. You know, we've been having debacles with these shirts.
My first time.
Yes. Chef the Ref, how you doing?
I am doing well. Yes, I finally get to wear a Kid Legend shirt and get to represent. So, yeah, I'm cheers to that. And I would please ask you to ring the bell so we can start talking wrestling.
There's a bell?
Should be. Last I heard, there was supposed to be one. I don't know. Did we lose the bell? Wouldn't be a surprise. There we go. Found it.
Right.
What do you guys want to talk about?
My question exactly.
So, some wrestling happened this week.
Did it? Really? Yo, fooled me. I thought we were just on here to BS around for a bit, you know.
Yeah, a little column A, a little column B.
But yeah, we have a lot to talk about, so let's just start off with last night, and we'll backtrack accordingly as we go. Last night, WWE had Survivor Series.
WARGAMES!
Finally used it at the right time. And yeah, I'm going to be honest, before we start talking about any of the matches, I felt like it was a mid-show at best, anywhere from a B+ to a C-.
It's what we've come to expect from the ESPN PLEs.
I kind of have to agree with that. It just seems like since they decided to jump on this deal early and not wait till WrestleMania,
yeah,
it's
not a great time of year to jump in on the PLEs. Like, it's basically mid-season that you're jumping in on everything. WrestleMania should have been the start or end point for everything. Yeah.
I mean, I would even make a case to say Royal Rumble, like January.
Sure.
But Royal Rumble's beginning of February next year, so, but still, I feel like, because now you got the road to WrestleMania to get all the subscribers in before WrestleMania and then that last big push. But anyway.
That was the timing on the Netflix deal, more or less. How they started in January 1st of this previous year.
Yeah, but usually for WWE, their first Raw, NXT, and SmackDown are just under PLE level events. Maybe even a step below Saturday Night Main Event. But they're still made to feel special.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, I think I know what we all want to talk about here, Mr. Regal.
WARGAMES!
Yes.
So, the opening match of Survivor Series War Games was the women's War Game match, which we expected. I'm just going to say this, regardless or not, Rhea Ripley has a broken nose every year going forward at this time. She should just wear a mask for War Games.
I like it. You know what? I'm down with that concept.
Yeah.
Especially the whole Terrifier theme she went with this year was really good.
How could she
Yeah,
not go
awesome
with that theme after she got killed by Art?
She looked awesome coming out.
Yeah. Just real quick, what did you guys think of them not using the shark cages this year for the first time and just having like the Royal Rumble style come out?
You know, I'm okay with it.
I just wish it was a shorter ramp or entranceway because by the time they get to the ring, almost a minute is already passed. Even though it looks like they didn't start the timer until they got in the ring, but still, that's a lot of time to kill. Unless you're somebody like John Cena or Liv Morgan who just hauled ass to that ring.
Spoilers for later in the discussion.
Well, if you haven't watched the show already, spoiler alert, we're talking about
WARGAMES!
So yeah, Team Rhea defeats, I'm guessing, Team Asuka. I wasn't really sure what the technical other team was on the other side. Because usually you have it set up as, oh yeah, it's this person's team or that person's team.
Team heel.
Yes.
The women, team heel versus team face. What did you think?
Charlotte had some very babyface gear coming out there too. I heard it was designed by someone, I forget who it was, but
A 6-year-old cancer patient or something.
Yeah.
They showed them. They showed her, or I believe it was her, at ringside. Charlotte goes up to her during the entrance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. And look, it's not her usual queen regalia that she comes out to, which, she was part of a team. She humbled herself down a little bit. I thought that spoke well to how everything played into this match, especially after her and Rhea having their little sit-down meeting where they declared they could trust each other and everything.
That was a great segment on Friday night.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought the women's War Games match, good job starting the show. Pretty much what we expected out of it, Anybody, BJ, you got some thoughts on this match up here after you take a sip of your delicious beverage there? Ooh, you can see through it.
No, like you said, it did it did everything we expected it to do. It was a great way to open the show. Io's spot was fantastic, as it is every year. Charlotte, it was, I don't know, it caught me off guard seeing her new gear, and her not all done up in the queen, get up. But yeah. Man, I cleared my throat.
Like the match itself, I thought was okay. The two big spots in the match being the Mist catching Lash Legend, and then the EO traditional trash can flip off the top of the cage spot.
Yes.
That has
gotta
become
have the
as
EO
much,
crazy spot.
Yeah, that has
Exactly.
become as much tradition as it is for the Cowboys and Lions to be playing on Thanksgiving Day.
Sure.
That's just what it is now. Because EO, as far as I know, has been in every women's War Game match WWE has ever held between the main roster and NXT.
Sounds about right.
She's Mrs. War Games.
Yeah,
Or Miss
she's
War
just a
Games.
beast when it comes to those matches.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I got it.
AJ Lee apparently she's arguing it online if you've seen any of the stuff, tapping out Becky Lynch.
It was a tap.
She's really playing hard into this whole role thing.
Yes. Yes, she is. But it was a tap.
It's reminding me of certain real world things, which it's not going to make full mention of, but it's kind of like you're just in denial at this point. I've always seen that tap out was less questionable than Declan Grant's.
Yeah. For those who have no idea what we're talking about, which is probably a decent amount.
It was a very small indie show a year and a half ago.
How dare you call it a small indie show, you mark?
Anywho.
But yeah, I thought the match was okay. It wasn't nothing I really got all that too excited about to begin with watching it. And I'm a huge fan of the War Games. I think also part of it is a burnout on me because I literally just watched 2 of these matches a week and a half ago.
With the blood and guts?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were a lot different.
They're a lot different. The blood and guts is more traditional of what War Games used to be.
Yeah.
But still, just the idea we're seeing the double cage, the double rings, the whole idea of sitting through it again, it does, even if it's a week and a half later, it does take some of that away. That I just saw that.
Well, that's the idea of AEW doing that, though.
Oh, yeah. Because didn't they usually before do it in October?
I think so. Yeah.
Unless it just planned out with the being in a building that could house both rings and the steel cage properly. That is always an issue too.
Sure.
But yeah,
These considerations.
Team Rhea picks up the win with AJ Lee submitting Becky Lynch. Even though she said she was waiting for the other team members who were all laid out in the ring to come help her. You know, apparently the greatest women's wrestler of all time needs help.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, she was highly outnumbered.
As declared by Sports Illustrated. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about sports, not pro wrestling.
But, speaking of that real quick, as we go into the next match, Sports Illustrated actually did a list of the top pro wrestlers right now, 30 and under, and Dominic Mysterio was at the top of that list.
I can agree with that.
Followed up by Kyle Fletcher.
Of course.
Sure.
You know, at this point with the run he's had, it's not too much argument. It's just I look around and I'm kind of like, meh. You know, I feel like Kyle Fletcher might have deserved that top spot a bit more. But overall, I'm not going to argue it because it's two top, number 1 and 2 are guys from two different companies. So ESPN just acknowledged somebody from AEW or ESPN or Sports Illustrated, one of the two, have a guy from each company in the top 2 spots.
And of course, they're going to go with the guy from the bigger company as number 1. And I agree with that, Dom over Kyle Fletcher.
It's two different beasts in what they're doing. You
Sure,
know,
but
Dominic's playing off his father's legacy, Eddie.
but a big part of this is who's bringing in money where, and there's a lot more money coming in on Dom than there is on Kyle Fletcher right now. Bottom line.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
No, like I said, I have no argument with it overall. You know, if you ask me, I'll say that Kyle Fletcher's the better wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's something I would have to take into consideration there.
For now, he is, but Dom's been working on his craft. We've seen
Dom's
a market improvement, like especially over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was all of him getting out from underneath Ray's shadow.
Yeah.
And being able to be his own character and not necessarily be that Mysterio.
Yeah, he was never going to succeed as just Ray's kid. You know, WWE fans weren't going to stand for that. He had to be his own man, improve himself in that way. Yeah, same as, like, let's say Randy Orton. If he was just Cowboy Bob's kid his entire career, he would have been languishing around as a jobber, maybe a mid-carder.
Cowboy Bob's kid.
Exactly. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? And now we've got the legend killer Randy Orton, who is a legend in his own right, because he got out of what could have potentially been the shadow of his father, just like Dom did.
The little buckaroo, Randy Orton.
Hold on, I'll make.
Now I'm sad we missed that.
I will say this: outside of all that, with all that, the one thing I'll say is Bob Orton wasn't an actual full-time wrestler.
Irrelevant to my point, but I see your point.
Like, that's just that. Like, he was there more managing Randy, and to bring some of that legend killer heat on, especially in the feud with the Undertaker. That's where that's where his dad was at his best at that point, and then he was phased out from there after that feud.
I'm not really even saying with Randy being under Cowboy Bob's thumb. I'm just saying as him being the son of another wrestler.
Being promoted as, like, that's his gimmick, is that he's another guy's son.
Right. If Dom had gone with, this is Rey Mysterio's son, he's El Hijo del Rey Mysterio Jr., then we'd be getting a totally different type of a thing here right now, and it wouldn't have worked with the Dom Mysterio character that we're getting now.
Right.
But that's like, all right, let's just put into perspective with that. Our current WWE Undisputed Champions legacy right now with that championship is literally finishing his father's story.
That's because Cody went out and reinvented himself after he was, oh, this is Goldust's brother, Stardust.
But even then,
Am I wrong?
We're talking about Dustin Rhodes, who had to be under that exact same shadow for his entire career.
Yeah, but
even
Cody
as Goldust, it was mentioned early on who his father was. It was no secret.
Well, because we knew who Goldust's father was too, so yeah, no secret.
I mean, we knew who Dustin Rhodes was much before the Goldust gimmick, who Dustin Rhodes was.
Right, yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, when it comes down to it, the only difference being that none of them really ever tag teamed with their father like Ray and Dom did. Went on one tag team championships, you know,
and we saw how poorly that was doing for Dom.
Right.
It was more that we saw the potential in Dom.
No,
not
we
at that
didn't.
point,
At that,
we didn't.
we were.
No.
Everybody was trashing Dom at that.
It
point.
wasn't until he turned heel that we saw anything.
We saw the potential of what he could do in the ring.
No, we didn't.
You might not
so
have.
much.
I did. He was already in a ring for 15 years prior to that. That kid's been training his entire life to be a pro wrestler.
He looked really out there for the first year or so.
But he also got thrown into the deep end, having feuds with what? Seth Rollins?
Sure,
Austin
and nobody
Theory?
thought he deserved them.
Whether he deserved it or not, he was there.
He was there, and nobody thought he deserved it, and nobody was paying any attention to him. If he was still going with that crap, he'd still be getting legitimately ignored.
No, but the time came to where he was improving. It's like, all right, you have to split him and Ray up, or else Dominic will fail because you're going to keep them together too long.
You always needed to split them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did. But it was Rey Mysterio was the path of them tag teaming together to build up the whole thing, to get the fans like, all right, either this is going to die or you're going to have to do something big with Dom. And then Dom became one of the biggest heels in the company instantly when he turned on Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio is that beloved. That man, I think I've ever heard booed 3 times in his entire career here in America.
I think it was just more about him finally showing some depth and personality.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the only way that was ever going to happen was by him not being in Ray's shadow.
Right.
Yes.
Otherwise, I mean, I'm not arguing that point specifically, because it all got to a point during the COVID era where it was like, WWE and Vince are showing faith and putting him in there with the likes of a Seth Rollins and all these other big names that we know are going to be future world champions or are former world champions.
Everyone at that point saw it, though, as Dom being shoved down our throats, and we were hating him legitimately, like to the point of.
I wasn't hating him. I was just hating him teaming with his dad. Like
you and I weren't working together. We weren't having those conversations at that point. I remember like conversations I was having with wrestling fans that I knew. We were all trashing Dom, just like, why does this guy have a job?
And it was just being given the opportunity, and what really helped him, I say, through that opportunity was that it happened during the COVID era. There were no fans in attendance. That really benefited him to be able to go out there and just work. And not have to work the crowd. Because he couldn't
hear how much people really legitimately didn't like him at that point.
And then it got to the point where you start building up that tension. You start having Rhea luring him to the dark side into the Judgment Day. And then now the rest is history. Dom might be the ultimate heel in wrestling. Because I've never seen a heel turn super heel until Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, and that moment when he turned on Rhea with Liv was where that was where he clicked for most of the people that he has clicked with now, I would venture.
Like, if it's one thing I would say was, overall, when he debuted, it wasn't necessarily felt like something being forced. It felt more like, hey, we have an opportunity to let this kid team with his dad, get him some ring time, and actually see if he can hang.
It felt
And
so forced to me.
I'll never say it felt forced. It felt off, but not forced. It felt more like, hey, this is COVID era and we need something interesting on TV, so we're going to try this. Hey, in the end, it worked out better than Retribution.
Okay, I got to give you that point 100%.
Retribution
I cannot
was-
argue with that at all.
Retribution was never going to work.
And the way that this conversation's been going, it looked like Dom was never going to work, but in the end, it worked out better than Retribution, and that's all that matters coming out of that era.
Looking at Dom and looking at Retribution at the very beginning, one has potential, one doesn't.
Retribution had the potential, and Dom didn't at that point, and they completely flipped their scripts for me.
I don't know what kind of potential they had coming out wearing like paper plates on their face.
They had storyline potential that was completely unrealized, 100% unrealized.
The only thing they were missing was Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
I mean, one of them was named Slapjack.
At least it wasn't Slap Nuts.
That
Did I
gimmick,
miss some context around that one?
That gimmick.
Oh, well, I think you were here for the neck nuts comment.
That gimmick set Dijak and Dio Madden's career back years.
Dio Madden, I don't think would. I think he got a late start because of that, but at the same time, he was consistently held down WWE. They didn't see no potential in him.
No, I know, but you know,
Dijak, on the other hand, is a completely different story. And as soon as that man rebuilt himself and got hot, they released him.
and
That
Shane
was
Thorne
a giant mistake.
and Shane Slapjack Thorne, he never really he had his chance and he stayed down in NXT for most of his career. You know,
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about this Intercontinental Championship match with Dirty Dom and John Cena,
Sure.
which right now kind of is one of my contenders for match of the week.
I can see why.
yeah.
I thought the match was very well done. Possibly the best match on the card outside on a 4-match card. Which I understand in this case why it's 4 matches. It would be the same reason why we would look at the Royal Rumble the same way if it was the 2 Rumbles.
You have 2 attraction matches.
Yeah. Two
like-
basically hour-long things that are
Yeah.
happening there.
Yeah.
That's like a Money in the Bank or a Rumble or anything like
Well,
that.
at least a ladder match, you could shorten that match down to about 15 minutes outside of entrances. Because the entrances at that point will suck up as much time as the match will itself.
Yeah, you're still looking at half an hour for
Right.
that.
Or an elimination chamber.
Yes, you eliminate because you're guaranteed 30 minutes in that match.
Right.
You're just like the Royal Rumble, you break it down, you're guaranteed almost an hour match.
I don't know. Most ladder matches that I've seen, at least Money in the Bank style or like multi-man, usually end up being about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Somewhere around there-ish. Half hour, 45 minutes in that
Yeah.
range.
Tara, how you doing? Congratulations on the first episode of your podcast, even though you had Lavari on there and he kind of trashed us a little bit.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know Tara had a podcast and that Lavari made an appearance and wasn't, well, I know he's not pleased with us, but I didn't know that, wow, he's taking it to other podcasts now. Okay. Maybe we'll have the chance to discuss this in person with him, if he ever, has the guts to come on here.
Or maybe he'll just decide to keep it moving.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, back to the conversation at hand. I thought that before we get to the finish of the match, that these two put on a great match with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dirty Dom, as he looked like $1 million in that match.
Yeah, I mean, we see it now. He's got the ability.
Yeah. He definitely has the ability. We've seen him hold that Intercontinental Championship multiple times, and like now numerous multiple times, I guess you could say. He's still got that AAA Championship too. So, I think that this was the right call, giving him the belt back, especially with the way they did it. Like just the way that storyline played out, just fantastic.
Yeah. But now it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, as far as with Liv being back. Oh, I guess we should mention that before.
Yeah. So yeah, I said before
Well,
we get
did
to the
say spoiler from the before.
Yeah, but before we got to the finish of the match,
Mm-hmm.
because at that point it's no longer a match; it was just one big spot. But yeah, since it was brought up, Liv Morgan makes her return at a point where it looks like Cena's going to have the match won. Referee is incapacitated somehow. I don't remember how, but
Yeah, there was 3 times that ref got taken out.
yeah. You get Liv coming out and a nice little swerve to it at first, or potential swerve, her smacking Dom. And then going and jumping and spider monkey gripping John Cena. And she's smiling. And then we get a nice callback to Elimination Chamber with the change in the face.
John Cena's face change, yep.
Yep. And then she hops down and kicks Cena square in the nutsack. Or
exactly what Cena did.
Or as Dom and Liv put it on the post show, the conference or whatever. She kicked him in the John Wiener.
Well, John Wiener was on Raw last week.
I don't even know if that's PG.
Definitely not truth.
But yeah, and then Dirty Dom picks up the win. And now becomes a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. He has beaten the GOAT now.
Yep.
And John Cena only has one match left in 2 weeks at Saturday night's main event on the 13th against the winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament.
So it's down to what? Jey Uso, Gunther,
LA Knight, and so yeah, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and then Gunther
Solo?
and Solo, yes, because
Penta got hurt.
Yeah.
Which apparently it's not as serious. Penta's injury, just real quick, not as serious as people may have thought it to be.
Yeah.
But
it looked like it was just a regular separated shoulder. Not that that's no big deal. But once you pop it back in, that's, a couple days to heal.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No problem.
I'm not a sports doctor.
Yowie wowie.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm
yeah,
good.
I think that as I started off, I think this is probably the match of the night. Even though
definite contender.
It's the match I was the happiest with out of the 4 matches from last night.
All right.
And that's saying a lot considering, even though we have another match to talk about before the men's War Games match, is that the men's War Game match was essentially 2 All-Star squads.
Yes.
But yeah, as BJ was saying, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night now. Dom has that Intercontinental title back. Who's going to be in line now to get a title shot against him?
Not just that. It'll be interesting to see the interactions between Liz and
Liz?
Right, Liv. Sorry. Liv
Liv,
and
Liv!
Liv and Roxanne. Like they've never interacted on screen.
Yeah. That'll be a fun little thing.
And at first, if you remember correctly, when Finn was bringing her in, they especially Raquel was like, "Oh, she's trying to get all up on Dom." But now we realize that isn't the case, and they've actually started to get along. So
Well,
it'll be interesting.
I'm just saying, Dom might be the luckiest man in wrestling. Not only is he married in real outside of wrestling, but in wrestling, Rhea, Liv, and possibly Roxanne.
I'm starting to think nothing about, there was never a thing with Roxanne, and that was just her trying to ingratiate herself with everybody in the Judgment Day to get into the group. It's not like she showed Dom any extra special favor that she didn't show to Finn and JD too.
I mean, this is also very similar.
You wouldn't fake a biker gang cookies, you know?
No, but if Dom was there, you take them chicken tendies or chicken nuggets.
Hey, man, who doesn't appreciate good chicken tendies?
Exactly. But, it'll be interesting because now the Judgment Day is 3 guys and 3 ladies. So that brings up a very interesting dynamic if they were how a split could potentially happen if it did.
It also, brings up the heel count of the ladies still. So we need some more babyface balance in here somewhere.
I just don't know who you would turn at this point. Heel Roxanne is working really well.
Yes, agreed. I don't think you turn any of the Judgment Day members right now.
Well, as long as Liv is with Dom, unless he turns, she's a heel. Which, if you're going to do anything, you build the storyline up of Raquel being the one to turn face. And then Liv and Roxanne become the tag team?
Yeah, I could see that. Have Raquel just go back to, not quite as bubbly of a personality as she had before. But,
a more serious babyface.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Somebody that is going to go out there, put in the work. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's just me. I would even maybe go along the lines of somebody, maybe she's not babyface or heel, a la Stone Cold way, where she's just there to conduct business now.
And works with people when it, benefits what she needs to get to, but otherwise stay out of her way.
Yeah, no alliances. She's just becomes that loner monster woman in that division. Who there's a potential a lot of matchups for her across both brands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see what plays out tomorrow night on Raw with all this, because now we have a rarity outside or in WWE being a 6-person stable or faction. We don't typically see WWE factions get that big. 4 is even a push at this point, and I think that's the max number WWE usually does, because we're not talking about the corporation or the
MFC
ministry.
and Wyatt's both have 5.
Yep.
But a lot of those also organically came together. This one is not just 6, but Roxanne became a replacement for Liv, and now Liv is back. So I could, in all honesty, see Roxanne being the one to get booted. Because she would be over as a babyface still.
We saw that in NXT for a while, but she was much better as a heel personality.
And you could still do the same type of character like that. That could go to anybody.
I mean, at this point, I don't really think it's necessary to turn anyone face or boot anyone.
Well, the women's division desperately needs baby faces right now.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other ways there. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, across SmackDown and Raw, the heels definitely dominate the baby faces.
Oh yeah, definitely.
By number alone, something has to change here. Because it's definitely becoming almost like it was the cool thing to join the NWO. Oh, it's the cool thing to be a heel. To where pretty soon that whole thing's going to get ran through by the baby faces. And then what do? You're going to turn the babyface heel for the other baby faces to run through and continually just build up the other side without turning anybody back?
Have you ever watched wrestling?
But when there's too many of one, it's too out of balance.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
incredibly too out. I get the balance. If the balance is slightly off, that's fine. But when it's super out of balance, what's going to happen is all your top heels are going to go up against your top baby face. And if your top baby face dominates them all, what do you have next? To the point that we just saw Nikki Bella turn heel.
well, that's a very specific situation you're talking about.
It's not, but this is something that's been across the board on both shows happening all year. Is that everybody outside of Tiffany Stratton, who was supposed to be a heel, organically became babyface?
I mean, they're not building up the faces that they already have, like Mi Chin and B-Fab, and and I understand
because B-Fab's not worth building up. Because they keep going out there and jobbing her. Mi Chin goes out there and has great matches. I'd love to see them do more with her. But in the end, they still bury her. So, because they're going to be the next two to get fed to Jade. Just to prove a point.
So like, it really seems like they don't see that that's a problem, that they don't have many faces and have too many heels right now, because as long as they can put on the rivalries that they want to put on and have a couple people to fill some slots here and there, they're good. Like, from our perspective, yeah, it looks like on paper there's a lot of this and a lot of that, and this is what's going to happen. But I feel like they're confident in what they're doing right now, and if they need someone, they can always just call someone up.
Oh, yeah, they did that with Lash Legend, and she's a heel.
They needed someone
all right. So last night we had 5 women baby faces, right? Mm-hmm. I mentioned Tiffany Stratton. We have Stephanie Vaquer as a baby face. That's 7 women baby faces. All right, and then we'll count Michin and B-Fab. That's 9.
Bailey, Lyra.
Bailey, I'm not sure whether she's a heel or face.
Maxine.
Right now. Yeah, Maxine.
I mean, we can just pull up the
Chelsea.
roster. Chelsea's kind of in between.
She's a heel, but the fans dislike her. Just like MJF's always been a heel, but he's our asshole. He's our scumbag.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
I'm just saying, it seems like everything is heel heavy,
but that doesn't really matter as much, though. Like,
but it matters when we're just going to constantly get all the same matchups. Hold on, how many times have we seen Nia Jax in a championship opportunity this year? They just turned Jade heel after being a babyface. We have Bianca Belair, who is still out with a broken finger.
So would you be against the heel Jade versus heel Nia rivalry? I wouldn't.
Yeah, I like Jade as a heel better than like face Jade.
Yeah,
fine, whatever. But heel Jade in AEW, that was peak Jade so far, and we seem to be heading back that direction. I don't want to go back to face Jade.
No, not at all.
Julia, Nikki Cross.
Candice and Julia heels. Kiana James heel.
Nikki Cross hasn't wrestled. Zelina.
Heelish face.
No,
but like, you don't need a ton of you need a handful of baby faces. Like, you don't need to have constantly 5-on-5s. You need a handful of good baby faces to go up against the heel.
I'm just saying the heel side is too heavy right now. Across the board.
I'm saying that doesn't matter.
It does matter when you're circling back and just having constant rematches. How many times did we see Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton this year? How many times did we sit through that match from her cashing in Money in the Bank on her all the way until her losing that championship to Jade?
A lot.
To where other people could have had that opportunity who were a heel to be built up.
Or maybe that was the story they were trying to tell, and that's what they were going with. There weren't room for any more faces. And
Yes,
things,
Tim. Yes. The Barbie doll beats up the out of shape Samoan. There's your story.
I'm
That
not saying it was
happened
good.
multiple times across the board.
I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying that's what they wanted to go with. You know what I mean? If they wanted someone else in that slot, they would have put someone else in the slot. That was the story they wanted to tell.
But what does that do? Is that a lack of talent that is there to face your champion?
No, because everyone else got work here and there.
But when you're constantly running the same matches over and over, interest gets lost.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, obviously, yeah, like I agree. But they chose to do that rather than giving someone else a chance. And everyone got a little bit of work. Not everyone got a story. Some people jobbed, whatever. That's what they went with. And the result was people, but it got old. People started to lose interest.
I'm just saying, it seems like everybody's turning heel, and it's not, the pendulum isn't swinging back the other way.
It doesn't have to, though. You don't need as many faces as heels. You don't need that at all.
But there has to be.
I love nothing better than, there's nothing better than a heel versus heel match.
Which it's happened more, but it's.
I mean,
but
that's what Tiffy and Nia was until the crowd, started to chant for Tiffy.
It just comes to a point where it has to swing back the other way, and we have to see some type of balance go back the other way. Otherwise, you're going to run through with a babyface champion, turn everybody around them heel, and then you're going to have no other baby faces that are credible. Because right now, even with Maxine being the Intercontinental Champion, she's not credible. That was her second ever pinfall victory.
Okay.
She still has a lot to prove to be a credible babyface. Outside the fact that people will cheer for her just because she's up against a bigger heel who can draw the heat.
Yeah.
And the pop for her comes from the surprise of her winning that match.
Yeah, no, I mean, people have been behind her, a long time now.
I mean, it's the Spike Dudley, or not Spike Dudley, Mikey Whipwreck thing. You job them, you build it up to the point, and then they get that big victory. Pro Wrestling 101 there.
Being honest, there's no one who should have expected Maxine Dupree to win that matchup in any conventional means outside of wrestling storylines.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody's questioning that there. But it's just when you look at the other baby faces, a lot of them are not majorly up there. Because right now, all right, since we're about to talk about Stephanie Vauquier retaining against Nikki Bella, who's next in line after Nikki? Who would you put next in line to go after that championship? Maybe Liv Morgan? Since she just returned, it would make sense.
Got to see where everything falls with that.
Liv, yeah, I think Liv is
right
up near the top of that list. Maybe you have her versus Rhea or Io or something like that, just as a number one contenders match,
or maybe Liv goes right back to teaming with Raquel and Roxanne steps up and challenges.
I would like to see Roxanne versus Maxine for that IC belt.
That's where I would put that, and because it looks like at the moment, if we really look at the landscape, they're not focusing on those women's tag team titles anymore. I think Raquel could be another person in line for that title shot. So what if they did the unthinkable? They put Liv and Raquel in a number one contenders match.
Interesting.
That does create, if they actually go through with the match and there's no chicanery.
Finger poke of doom style.
DX and one of them doing the Warrior Splash.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as going after Stephanie, I would definitely want to see Liv in maybe even some sort of a fatal four-way number one contenders match for the women's title. You put in Liv. You could put in Liv and Raquel both into that match, and then you put in Rhea and Io.
You know what? I'll go as far as to even say maybe throw Becky Lynch in there.
No, because she's still focused on Maxine currently and her IC belt.
I feel
and
like
AJ Lee.
Yeah, I would say the focus is more on AJ Lee than Maxine at this point because they needed to get the belt off of her.
Right. So, yeah, Becky's not even worried about anything. Thank you very much, Sports Entertainment Guy.
Thank you. We appreciate the support.
Thank you.
So,
yeah. I mean, I don't mind that at all. But I would play it up even more because it seems like the focus isn't just on AJ Lee, but also this story that they're bringing referee Jessica Carr into. That she's the reason. So they have a whole nother storyline there. But if you were to just put Becky Lynch into that number 1 contenders match, and Jessica Carr is the referee, you're furthering that storyline without her having to win.
Yeah. I like that.
I just caught up. AJ Lee is not Dragon Lee and AJ Styles in this case.
Really?
I was
Dragon
really
Lee
confused
and
for a
AJ
minute there.
Styles aren't going for the women's world championship?
That's what I was confused about.
No, not this time. No, not talking about Dragon style.
What, CM Punk?
I like that. Chef, you look like you need to go to catering for a moment.
He never learns, does he?
What do you mean? You don't learn neither. You're going to catering next after I bring him back. I can't put y'all both in there. You'll destroy catering. But anyway, what did you guys think of the Women's World Championship match from Survivor Series? It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. To be perfectly honest, I didn't think Nikki was going to win.
No, she was never going to win. This was a match to fully put over who should ever be everybody's favorite female wrestler, La Primera Stephanie Vicaire. You know, hey, I call it like I see it, my man. Stephanie Vicaire is the best female wrestler in the world right now. I will say that. Yeah.
That is a discussion for another time I would like to have. We're going to have to start doing pre-recorded content of just those type of discussions.
Sure.
That's
Patreon.
all I'm saying.
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, man. I'll put Stephanie Vicaire right up there at number 1. Yeah.
It's a shame because I would say Julia deserves to be on that list too, but they're doing absolutely jack shit with her right now. And it's a damn shame.
So be it. But yeah, this was totally just a vehicle for Stephanie to be highlighted. Nikki Bella, she's the legend, blah, 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 whatever. She was in that kind of throwaway Divas era for my money. She was never one of my favorites. I was never a fan of the Bellas particularly. I just thought they were there to look pretty and not do much else. They learned some basic wrestling stuff enough to get by, and they threw championships on it because they had good looks. Outside of that, never impressed me all that much. So this was just a nostalgia thing for people who are still Nikki Bella fans for whatever reason.
Well, I will give Nikki Bella wide credit that she's come back. If it's the one thing she's done, she's helped put over the younger talent. Given that, as you mentioned,
because there's no reason she should be winning anything.
And her as a heel works much better because now she can take the losses as a credible heel.
Yeah,
playing off that legacy. Because in the end, regardless of the situation, she was in an era, as I previously said, where they really didn't get the time to go out there and go work. They were given piss break matches. That's what we all called them as fans. And it stayed like that until AJ Lee. To be perfectly honest,
Yes.
around that point was when we started really seeing the push of the women's evolution.
Because that's
and then
when, that's when we finally had a woman who was worth watching again. Yeah. It had been a while since we'd had a woman who could do anything in the ring beyond like, oh, I'm gonna clothesline you. Now I'm gonna kind of jump from the middle rope a little bit or something like that. Yeah, it had been a minute. So once AJ Lee came in, was able to actually go in the ring and put everyone else in that era to shame and forced everything to evolve again. Yeah.
yeah,
But Nikki Bella, thank you for coming. Thank you for putting the new generation over. Stay in that area and that area alone, please. Thank you.
it's definitely something to see the evolution of the women, especially recently. That a lot of things have gone the way they should. It's just now you have the stars. Now can we maintain this still going forward? Because when you look at even between Raw and SmackDown, I still think the best women's division is NXT right now. If I'm looking at the talent, and number two, in all honesty, probably being TNA.
Well, you're just describing a couple divisions of women that are still up and coming. They're next generation stars that are still up and coming. So, yeah, you're exactly proving the point that women's wrestling is still up and coming and trending in the direction that AJ Lee started bringing it from the Divas era.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Nikki Bella, for helping Stephanie Vicaire to put on a good match. Stephanie looked good in this match, and I can't say that she is going to lose this belt anytime soon because I don't see a contender coming for her who can legitimately take it right now. There's a couple who might be threats, but I don't see them without any sort of like Liv Morgan. Yes, threat, but she's got the backing of the Judgment Day. Without the backing of the Judgment Day, I don't see her as a threat to Stephanie. Threat, yes, but not on the athletic sense, more in the sense of she's got numbers behind her.
Honestly, really, right now, they need a draft as far as this whole women's division go. Like, and honestly, yeah, the matchups have gotten stale because they've been the same rosters for this long. Everybody's been heel and face and back again.
Yeah, which would be something that would help rebalance everything out so nothing doesn't feel as heavy.
You get some fresh matchups.
Yeah, and as moving pieces around. Because it just seems, like I said earlier, it just seems like that I look across both shows, we're just seeing the same things over and over again. And it's like, it's like, all right, it's cool when we see something like Rusev and Sheamus for like 6 weeks straight. But even then, eventually you have to stop doing it. Mm-hmm. Because there's only so many different variations of that match you can do before you have to take it to a level that's not worthy of being on a SmackDown or a Raw. That would have to be on a PLE or some type of special.
Well, that's always where the blow-off match for that type of thing should be anyway.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, a filler feud like that, why end it on a PLE? Why not just have a blow-off on the Raw?
No. I'm just saying, like, after you do the variation of the match where it's just a normal stipulation or a no DQ or a no count out. After that, where you're raising that point to go to something higher, it's either it's on a very special Raw where everything is built up more of like a Saturday night main event or B-grade PLE. Or you have to take it to a PLE because a match with those stipulations is a PLE match and not a Monday Night Raw match or a Friday Night SmackDown match. We're not talking about something where in NXT they kind of have the more fluent way of doing stuff because they also have their special episodes sprinkled out throughout the year where they do special stuff like Spring Break-In or their Because I think they have something special for the beginning of the year too. I can't think of the name of the show off the top of my head.
Is that New Year's Evil?
Yes, there we go. You know, and that's just on normal TV. That's not a PLE-esque show.
NXT always names like the holiday monthly shows. Like, you know, AEW every year they're doing this Winter is Coming and all their other like named dynamites that they have over the course of the year.
Ryan Milky in the chat, how you doing, brother? Lash, yeah, but they're on separate shows.
Yeah, they are. Again, with the draft shaking things up, that could happen.
Yeah, but right now, I'm going to be honest. If you were to tell me Nia and Lash Legend were going to begin a run for those tag team championships, I would be okay with that.
Sure.
Because that's a team I wouldn't mind seeing what they could do before you split them up to see if they have chemistry actually working with each other.
I think they could dominate the tag division for sure.
But there's no female face tag team.
We're not friends.
Yeah, they're not going to last that long.
Well, they'd also have to win the title
Me,
back.
Chin, and B-Fab.
Hold on. So you're admitting there's not a lot of women baby faces?
Yeah, but like I'm
Okay,
saying in
thank
the
you.
tag team division, no, there don't have to be was my point. No, in the women's tag team division though, are there any like besides We're Not Friends who I don't see being around too much longer?
B-Fab and Beechin.
I just said that,
Um,
but that's all I can think of. So
Yeah,
they're gonna have.
Maxine and Natty.
Yeah, I guess they could. Yeah, she's gonna give her a call apparently from Raw. Yeah, and I guess so. There's a few. There's a few for them to.
Bailey and Lyra.
Yep,
Yeah,
just said that.
Yeah, if that lasts.
But it's still hard for me to look at Bailey and determine whether she's heel or face because I feel like I can watch a match and see her go heel face, tweener face, heel, back to face in that matter of 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Every minute.
More so face by association, I would think.
Yes. Because of Lyra.
Yeah. Until she turns on Lyra, she's face.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I just look at it as more of a question mark at the moment, given that how she acts, even by association, is still in that very fine gray area.
If Jade's starting her own faction, Jade with Lash and B-Fab as the baddies. Unless Jada Parker gets called. I like Jada Parker instead of B-Fab.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if after WrestleMania B-Fab gets released.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been hanging on. She's outlasted. She's outlasted everyone else from Hit Row.
Yeah.
You know, and she's probably had more matches than everyone in Hit Row combined.
Yeah,
Besides
at
the
least in
fact that-
WWE.
yeah,
I mean, we
besides-
got Swerve.
Yeah, besides
I'm
Swerve
saying
left
on the
and
main
became a
roster.
world champion.
Yeah.
What has B-Fab done?
She'll be there
Not as a world champion, unless it's on the Indies.
as a world champion of like MLW.
As MLW.
Hey, I would love to see B-Fab as the PWU Women's Champion.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that. Someone's got
That'd
to
be
take it
fine.
off Tasha.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got Mercedes Martinez up next, so hopefully she
we
can get
ever.
the job done.
Oh,
All right,
man,
well,
I
we
can't
do
wait
have
for
one more match to talk about from Survivor Series, which has taken this whole hour up because we just keep going off on our own tangents that have led off of this.
that. It was a
Welcome
war
to
game
B-
size.
This is
Yeah.
what we planned on doing with the War Games matches.
Yeah,
Like, just,
welcome to BJ and DG Talk Wrestling.
War games.
we didn't say in any sort of chronological order. We just said talk wrestling.
Yeah.
Next, let's talk about the men's war game match, which, as I've said throughout the last hour, was an all-star team. Like, you just look at accomplishments across this. You have the OG Bloodline members with the Usos and Roman. We know what they've done. You know, you have Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and you have Logan Paul, which, despite how people might feel about him, He is a draw.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he is a draw, and he's a natural heel.
I know.
And then you have Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and then Heyman on the outside. You know, I thought overall, that's a bit of an all-star lineup when you have both your world champions, your longest reigning champion in the last decade in that match. You have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who are going to hold singles gold at some point.
Maybe not Reed.
I think he's going to hold singles gold at some point. Whether it's a world title or not, we'll have to wait and see.
He was TNA champion, wasn't
I don't know.
Bronson Reed?
he? Yeah, Jonah.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up.
Overall, this was the War Games match I paid a bit more attention to just because of the names in it. I thought they did a lot of good spots in it. Like, I liked Brock Lesnar leaving the cage before the match officially starts and meeting Roman in the walkway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was well done, because that way, yeah, Brock gets a little more damage in on Roman before he decides when Roman gets to come in the cage, and then the match will start.
Yeah, so until everybody's in the cage, they get to do the nice little spots all around the ring. We actually had somebody go through the Spanish announce table on this show. I can't remember the last time I saw only the Spanish announce table get used. So I
Feels
definitely
like the Attitude Era.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed that callback to announce tables days past. I liked the after Logan gets the Nux and Roman's in the ring. I think he spears Logan Paul, and then he takes the Nux and just starts Superman punching everybody. I really enjoyed that spot.
Yeah. Yep, that was good. And yeah, the spear, well, Brock was holding Jay up on his shoulders through the table.
Yes, let's talk about the Doomsday Device spot.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, where Braun fell on the back of his head.
Yeah, I saw a freeze frame of him when he hits the mat, and his neck could have been broken. So I'm hoping he's not injured, considering how that match ended, and it looks like... Because also, apparently, this was supposed to start giving us the seeds of what's to come for WrestleMania now, and to begin that full build to that. And if we're looking at this, I'm guessing after just the end of the match, not anything that happens post-match, but as they've been talking about in the chat, the man under the mask, Steven Chambers thinks it's Austin Theory. I agree with that.
The hell of a theory.
It's Austin Theory or Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is doing too much now for the call-up to really work.
Yeah.
Because of him being North American champion and the AAA Mixed Tag Team champion. And speaking of... Yep.
Saludos.
Yeah. He's a Steiner. He's fine.
That's a fact. Mania will be Punk Roman.
I will say this right now. There's no way that was Seth Rollins, considering he literally just had surgery in the last 2 weeks.
Obvious misdirect.
But the person using the Seth Rollins, they want us to believe it was Seth because he used the Seth Rollins moveset.
As I said, obvious misdirect.
Yeah, that build
100%.
though, that build was Theory all day.
Yeah, I agree as well. I
prevailing
definitely
theory.
don't think it's Punk Roman at Mania. I'll bring the comment back up. I definitely think with Braun Breaker getting the pinfall on Punk, that's the kind of the way that they're shifting us towards that, and we could see that feud run out until WrestleMania, because the initial plan was I think Punk was eventually going to win the title, then it was going to be Rollins and Roman, or maybe Rollins, Roman, possibly for the World Championship. Let's see, that person was too skinny to be Chris Jericho.
It's not Jericho. Moved very well. That was Chris Jericho.
I don't think Chris Jericho could climb a cage that fast, even 20 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah, Jericho's older than me, so that was definitely not him climbing that cage.
But yeah, I definitely think the masked person was Austin Theory. And and whoever it is, and perfectly mimicked Seth Rollins, that super kick when somebody's on their knees and then hitting that curb stop. Like, if I didn't know, in your opinion, they called it a super kick on the show. It's a super kick still. It's just a mid-level super kick. It's not the super. We'll call it the mid kick.
A mid-level super kick.
Well, we'll call it the mid kick.
That's better. That's fine. A mid kick. Yes, I'll go with that.
Stupid idiot.
Dummy. Yeah.
You're talking about the people who called that a super kick, right?
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
Nope.
Well, I hit the wrong one, but it's still accurate. Moving on. Yeah, that definitely has to be Theory. I can't think of anybody else on the roster it could possibly be.
Grayson Waller.
No, because I think that's the first.
You said
person.
could possibly be. I threw you one name.
Now, if I'm going to say, regardless of who it's revealed to be, Grayson Waller being in that spot, because he was at the show, would make sense if Theory wasn't there, because they do have similar builds.
Trick Williams.
Ooh.
No. No, I don't think.
Not Edge. Definitely was not Edge either.
Edge can't do that kind of climbing.
Yeah, Edge should not be climbing that high anywhere ever again. We saw what happened last time.
So why not Trick?
I like
too
Trick.
short. Too short.
Theory and Trick
It was
are like
too
the
short
same
to be
height.
Trick. Trick
Nah,
is taller.
Trick-
Trick is taller.
yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
Trick
by
is-
an inch or two. He's 6'4", right? Pretty sure Theory's 6'3".
I don't know. I don't have their stat sheets in front of me. I'm sure Google
I'm
does,
looking
but
up.
I'm not.
All right, Trick Williams is 6'4".
That's what
Okay.
I said.
Drum roll, please.
And Austin Theory is 6'1". 3 inches is a
okay.
dramatic difference.
Oh,
to
yeah.
be
I thought he was
seen in that
6'3".
case.
Yeah.
All right. El Grande Americano.
Which El Grande Americano?
Hold
though?
on.
What do you
Let's
mean?
Go. What,
There's only one.
there's not. If we have to go by the sizes. El Grande is
And then there's
Ludwig.
Rojo and Azul, right? Red and
You
blue.
mean Rayo and Bravo?
Yeah, sure, whatever they're
All
called.
right. Quick question: should this go into the Comment Hall of Fame?
Okay.
I don't even
Yeah.
know
I'll
if
allow
that's
it.
PG.
It is.
Oh,
Tap.
it's like-
Tap.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
But yeah, I'm definitely leaning toward it being Austin Theory because it would be the first time that he's played that role. It was me, Austin type thing. He did it in NXT, So
It was me, Austin Theory.
And let's not forget, like, he was Vince McMahon's golden child. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey.
he was always like destined for greatness. And just the fact that we haven't heard anything about him in the last couple of months,
He's been injured.
Regardless, though, you usually hear things. You know what I mean?
Well, usually when they keep stuff like that, they want it out of mind for a reason. The last mention we had of Austin Theory WWE TV was that Grayson Waller.
When he started hanging around New Day.
New Day, yep. And that
That's
also
pretty
Grayson
much what I was
Waller's.
saying.
Yeah. So but you know what? I'd rather nothing be mentioned because it makes the return that much better.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought
Alright,
you were saying too.
So then we're all on the same page. What the hell are we even talking about?
Why were you disagreeing with me with my point?
I don't know what's going on.
I disagree
here.
with the point I agree with, damn it.
You didn't say that.
Yeah, I did.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Masked Man, who I think we're all convinced is probably Austin Theory, interferes in the match, kicks Punk, curb stomps him, setting up Braun Breaker to get the pinfall. So Team Heyman wins this match.
Yep.
And even more interesting is what happened after the match. We have in the far ring, Cody, Punk down, Roman getting up. Roman helps Punk up, which is very interesting, given their history the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and looks at Cody. At the end, as Cody's getting up, he kind of goes to extend his hand, but Cody gets up on his own. And then we get Roman telling Cody, this is the last time we ever team together.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're definitely probably getting a setup for Roman Cody 3.
Please say Cody heel.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think Roman's the heel at that point. Because I've been seeing rumblings.
If there has to be one.
That the rumblings of a possibility that OG Bloodline members, the Usos, and Roman reunite as a heel faction.
I mean, I'd be all about that too, but turn Cody heel, please. Make WWE interesting again.
We're just not there yet.
Not ready for Homelander Cody.
I can see Logan Paul still being a member of that group, even if it's Austin Theory there.
Yeah, he's got too many eyes on him to not be involved with something like that.
Yeah, and Logan Paul, I think, is a good fit for them. Because if Heyman's never not there, you have another person who can... Not that Breaker can't talk. Reed, he's okay on the mic, but, he's very...
That was unintentional.
I mean, we've also shown that two guys in the Vision who are semi-similar to each other, a la Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, can work well together within that group. And so I think Logan Paul and Austin Theory, similar, not the same. I'm not saying that. They have a similar-ish type of vibe within that group. So I think that they could gel together and maybe do something in there.
The other thing I would say is, that it is Austin Theory. He joins the group as a 4-person group now. You pair together Logan Paul and Austin Theory as the tag team, and then you have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as the singles wrestlers in the group.
Sure. Yeah, Bronson go for that IC belt, and Braun obviously would be going after the heavyweight one at this moment.
And I'm going to be honest, until the fans start booing Cody, and we start seeing that idea of the rumblings, and full on, not just the random 10 fans sitting up front booing. The day that Jey Uso would turn is when you start seeing less and less people doing the yeet in the crowd. Until there's only 200 people doing it in the crowd, they're not turning him. Unless you want that shock of a moment, and reuniting the bloodline would be that shock. But if I've learned anything about wrestling fans over the last 7 years, is that heel and face doesn't matter no more. People will cheer for who they like, and people will boo who they don't like.
I don't feel that's entirely true. It's more true than it used to be, but Dom still gets his boos. People like Dom, but he still gets his boos because.
But that's a unique case because the thing to do is boo Dom.
Like MJ,
That's like saying you suck when Kurt Angle comes out.
Yes.
That's like the thing to do, even if you like the wrestler.
Yeah, because you could see a person holding a Dom sign and probably simultaneously booing him. The same thing you could see with MJF in AEW. Sure. Because you want to boo him because you don't want his character to change. But you also still want to be supportive of one of your favorite wrestlers.
That's exactly the conundrum I have so many times when I go to the PWU shows.
Yeah. I would say, I agree it's not 100% across the board, but I would say it's 3/4 across the board. Because more fans are smarter now to everything. And they know that a lot of fans, whether you go to the indie shows or whatever, you know who to boo, you know who to cheer. And at the end of the day, you're probably still going to walk up to that person if you see them and be like, hey man, that was an awesome match.
Yeah, and you know how many guys I've walked up to after shows and been like, hey, I need that shirt even though you suck.
But yeah, a Cody heel turn, like I said, a lot of this stuff has to die down and something has to happen. And I will say this, I think over this year, we've seen since WrestleMania a bit more of those seeds being planted. But if we're looking at Roman Cody, I wouldn't mind the reversal of the idea of Roman being the babyface trying to get his championship back that he lost to Cody 2 years later. But at the same time, Cody heel versus Roman, and you're going to make the fans choose. I'm going to be honest. Just by choice, I think that Cody at WrestleMania, if that match happens, will not get the cheers that Roman gets coming into that arena.
Depends on the setup and how Roman sells it on the way in.
And it depends on the story build-up. I wouldn't mind that we get out of this WrestleMania, and maybe the night after WrestleMania, you just do it.
Just see what the hell happens.
But
only if
just,
he wins.
Win or lose, I would say. So let's just say he loses to Roman, and then he shows up the next night and he's going out there and say it's Punk. Oh, hey, man, glad to see you retained your title. We get to the end. Punk takes the first step to get out of the ring. Crossroads. Because you never step ahead of the person. You should get out of the ring together, not let one go ahead of you. It's just a really tough spot when you have all these fans that are consistently cheering and people clamored for this to happen. And then, as we know it happens, somebody gets the spot that the fans want them to, and then it's just the instant turn the other way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a shame because it's the same idea. Nobody wants Jey Uso in the spot he's in. Well, you know what? Until 12,000 some odd fans at every PLE, every Monday Night Raw, every SmackDown he appears or whatever, stop doing the yeet and stop popping for him. As long as he's over, he's going to be in that spot because he can handle being in one of the top spots.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's kind of on that bandwagon of, okay, we get it, Jay. I'm going to go and get something to eat while you're making your entrance, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. But yeah, I get it. The kids love it. As long as the kids are cheering for it, whatever.
When it gets to the point that you're just doing it to sell merch and for the kids, it's time to change.
No, if you're doing it to sell merch, then your company's making money. If you're doing it for the kids, you're keeping them wanting to come back.
Right. If you
Booking 101.
Right. And I'm saying if you have integrity for wrestling.
We're talking about professional wrestling and integrity?
Yeah, well.
Outside of Kurt Angle?
Yeah, well. I mean, it's just another one of those things where it's like I get it, but like, there's only so long you can play to the majority. You know what I mean? Until something has to be done, and you have
tell Stone Cold that. Tell The Rock that.
Yeah, and
I say as long as you're playing to the majority and making that money.
But that's
the majority is dictating.
Yeah, and as long as now the other thing that could necessitate the change would be if attendance took a hit. But as of right now, when WWE attendance figures start taking a hit, nobody's going to blame it on the talent.
It'll be blamed on ticket prices.
Exactly.
Right, but that's not productive.
But it wouldn't necessarily be wrong.
There's going to be multiple factors. Once
But the major
start falling, which they will eventually. It's going to happen. There's a breaking point coming. You can feel between the ticket sales and it's not lack of talent or lack of creative. I can't say, but the stagnant.
Not to say creative hasn't gotten a bit lazy recently with certain things. Because even I feel like, but we're also in that weird point of the year where we're now getting to the Royal Rumble. We're beginning our march to WrestleMania. We're gathering the troops. We're game planning. We got the attack plan. We're getting ready to head out. You know, so.
But also at the same time, we're winding down for Christmas break.
And also, let's just remember, how outside of Survivor Series and maybe a couple key matches, not including the 1997 Survivor Series with the Montreal Screwjob or the 1998 Deadly Games tournament. Usually Survivor Series is just a fun event with multi-man tag team matches, which I still feel like a match like that needs to be included on the card every year.
They did it on Friday.
Which then, if they're going to do it like that, both shows should have at least one match honoring Survivor Series and not just the go-home show.
I think the best style of Survivor Series was either all the champions versus champion matches or the three-way with NXT.
I didn't mind the three-way one with NXT. I thought that was really cool, but it did feel a bit convoluted having that third team there. You know, like I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. And maybe if they had been able to do it again, and Vince didn't get his panties in a wad because NXT was a better product.
I'm saying like the whole card, not just like the Survivor Series style match.
Which would be a great reason to bring something back like bragging rights to where you could feature all three brands on a special, or even more now. AAA could be featured on something like that now too.
Sure.
You know, they have the working relationship with TNA. God, would I have loved to see something special? A team WWE, you take the top people or whatever from all three brands, and then you put them up against TNA's top stars. That would be something really cool to see in that type of matchup. But I don't ever really expect to see TNA completely recognized on a Raw or SmackDown outside of something like the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania.
Right.
To be that week.
Yeah, we got lucky when we had Joe Hendry come out with TNA Championship on.
Well, I think wasn't Mickie James the first one to do that?
No, with the Knockouts title in the Royal Rumble, but Joe Hendry's the only TNA champion to ever have a match on WrestleMania.
Not including the Royal Rumble match that Mickie James did.
But Mickey, again...
We're saying WrestleMania specifically.
We're not talking
Mania specifically, okay.
Yes, again, Joe Hendry, the only TNA champion to have a match as TNA champion at WrestleMania. Mickie James Mickie James was the first to cross that line, but that was also because WWE had a really thin women's roster at the time.
Yeah, and there was some deal there was some deal. I can't remember the specifics, but it was like kind of a trade. Someone appeared on TNA.
If we really go back that far, actually, it was something like that. And if we go back that far, we could kind of credit Vince with the seed being planted to eventually bring TNA into the fold in some fashion in the long run. He was still booking the shows then.
I don't know if that fully opened the door or if that was just something he scrambled and had to do.
But Vince had to give his approval for it at the time. Yeah. And she was able to come out to her theme song with her championship belt.
Right.
So
I could just say, I'm like, come on, don't we have anyone else?
Oh, so can I. I can see all that.
We sent her clothes in a trash bag. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great way she got sent packing.
No, that was really horrible. Really horrible. But yeah, what did you guys think of the return of Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks, as we brought up the Survivor Series traditional match they had on SmackDown? MFT wins. They do the whole going off the air thing. Lights go out. And the rest is history.
Return of Uncle Howdy. It's always great to see him because you never know when you're going to. I love how they've been just kind of planting the seeds, but letting the MFT do their thing and just showing up every once in a while. I hope this means they're going to build up to something big with the MFTs. I would have thought a WARGAMES match would have been amazing, but we'll see. We'll probably do some kind of crazy 10-man or maybe not with Nikki, but I don't know. I want to see something big come of this. But yeah, Wyatt's always loved seeing them.
It's one of those things where it's because they have the tag team championships, and Solo's made it clear they're going after gold. So
Right.
So with that, hey, that's a good start for them. And I could see kind of at this point the title's probably going to MFT. It seems like they're investing a lot of time into MFT.
Yeah,
And you kind of
especially
do
with their
want to
new
build
gimmick.
them up. Yeah. But I could see a decent feud coming out of that, and that it can last for a while because of how many different ways that can go.
Yeah.
Even maybe with somebody else teaming up with the Wyatts somewhat to be that extra person because they are outnumbered.
I'd say
Nikki
just
Cross isn't going to be having matches.
I just say throw Nikki in there.
That would be fun.
Or we could bring back her husband, and he would be a perfect fit.
Who's her husband?
Big Damo, otherwise known as Killian Dane. He was Insanity. He was Insanity. Huge on the Indies in UK.
But why would we throw Alexa Bliss into this feud when the MFTs don't have?
Yeah, no, Alexa Bliss does not need to be anywhere near the Wyatts right now.
No, she's got her thing going with Charlotte and all that stuff. Oh boy, Rick Blade. I'm thinking about dyeing my goatee red and changing my name to Ginger Blade and calling my finisher the Ginger Snap.
What goatee?
Do it. Do it.
That, my friend, my brother, is Danger Ginger approved. And thank you for tuning in today, Rick.
Yes.
Former PWU champion, Rick Effin Blade. Always a pleasure.
Former and future PWU champion.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind Dexter Loomis, or not Dexter Loomis, Killian Dane joining that group. That would be interesting.
I would love to see it.
It's just somebody would have to step into that role, and I hate to say it would probably be Sami Zayn. I think he'll work with anybody to go after Solo in that group.
I could see that working. If only there was, I don't know, like a Samoan or Tongan woman in WWE who's available.
But hold on. But then again, we are still a person short on the Wyatt side.
Well, I know, but then Solo could sit out.
Just him directing from the background.
Yeah, him just yelling at people.
In his suit with his gloves.
Because the person doesn't necessarily... Yeah, the person, whoever teams up with him, necessarily does not have to be a member of the group.
True, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to see, even numbers and see something like that.
Eric Young still under contract with TNA, and they have him in a really big thing right now, but that would be huge to see that crossover of they acknowledge Eric Young as a TNA star, and but I just don't see how you would work that story-wise.
Yeah.
There's a cleanse coming. Eric Young has to prepare for the cleanse.
Oh, man. Oh, now, see? If they agree and let the Wyatts jump over to TNA...
Ooh.
You might have something there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way I would want to see that, is that it works both ways, because from the beginning I felt like now we've gotten to the point where at some point somebody from TNA has to cross over to this main roster who is an actual contracted star.
With Eric Young, can we really put it past him that this cleanse is nothing more than a juice cleanse?
I don't know.
Colon cleanse?
Just saying, it's Eric Young. Can't put it past the guy.
And now let's talk about the Last Time Is Now tournament. We had Gunther and Carmelo Hayes put on a great match on Monday Night Raw this week. It was the opening match of the show. Great match.
Yeah.
Gunther wins. I mean, I'm still assuming Gunther wins this tournament, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense.
And then we also had Solo defeat Penta after a referee stoppage, after Penta took a bad bump.
Yeah, shoulder out of socket, ended the match because Medical wasn't comfortable clearing him after that. Even though Penta wanted to keep going, Medical said no, get to the back. And Sola didn't look happy about it either. And someone in the crowd decided to try and jaw at him, and he just yelled right back at him. Yeah. So there you go.
It's just hard for me to look at and see anybody who could knock Gunther off. But there are still a couple people in this tournament, Solo being one of them. And I believe that match is this week, is tomorrow night, Solo Gunther.
Maybe Solo could, but I'm not really sure that he would be able to knock Gunther off.
But
now that he's back to the New World Order music.
But I mean, he's one of the ones I would think could, just because he would have the backup to be able to do it. You know, and Solo and Cena have plenty of history. Solo's one of the people that have beaten him in that 2-year span where Cena just couldn't win a singles match if his life depended on it.
That's also why I think Gunther should be the one. Yeah. Solo had his match. He got the win. Let Gunther get a win to retire Cena.
I mean, either way, whatever. Like I said, I still assume Gunther wins this until they do something to prove me to make me think otherwise. But at the moment, like I said, if I'm looking at this of who's left right now, who could put down Gunther, it's Solo.
Well, we saw Jay put down Gunther before.
And what happened when they had the rematch?
Yeah, but it could happen again. Doesn't matter.
Oh, God.
We've seen that it has happened.
Shut your whore
mouth. It could happen
mouth.
again.
Shut your whore mouth.
I don't want to see Jey Uso there.
You just probably called the finals, Jey Uso and Gunther.
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
that was
Uso
clearly
Gunther,
where
well, that's the final. But as long as Jay loses, I'm fine.
Wow, that would be a full year to tie. The way to tie things up. Just remember, who did Jey Uso eliminate to win the Royal Rumble?
John Cena. I hate you.
Vacant.
But yeah, speaking of Jey Uso, as I was saying, he won his match on SmackDown against Rusev, which I kind of disagree with. Which, by the way, speaking of Jey Uso real quick, I meant to bring this up when we were talking about War Games. Mid-match is not a time to rerun your goddamn theme song.
War Games!
Like, that really annoyed me during that match.
Yeah.
Like, pre-match, whatever. You know, and even then, that's
but as long as all the kids are
keep doing, yeah. Oh, no, it's getting old, but I agree. I completely understand why. But there's just cases where you shouldn't do it. And in the middle of a War Games match, it's not like he was the one who started the match.
Yep.
This match was already...
save Matt.
Yeah, you know. Hey, I'm coming out to help. But first, rerun my music. Because I'm a mark for myself. Boo me all you want. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. This is why I'm tired of Jay shtick. But yeah, again, the kids still are eating it up. So until the kids don't care anymore, you got to keep selling it.
And you know, let's be honest. In the end, it's the kids who are really the target because you create generational fans like that. And every kid that he stands in the audience with on those steps doing that with. you're essentially making a fan for life, because those kids will remember that even if they're not fans the rest of their life. You know what's a memory that person's going to have from being a kid? Oh, I remember Jey Uso. Like, you know, I was on TV with him in the crowd doing the whole yeet thing he used to do. You know, it was awesome.
Man, I don't care about the kids. Just turn Jey Uso heel.
F those kids.
I want those kids to have a traumatic experience seeing Jey Uso turn heel.
I don't even know if that's PG.
But no, I understand it. I get it. And everything with that, I get. It's the same thing as for how long Hulk Hogan was on top, because people cheered for him and they wanted to see it. As long as there's people that want to see it, and this is adults and kids, and this is adults and kids alike in this arena, in these arenas.
Right.
It's not just one or the other.
Yeah, as long as the majority is
hold
still
on,
going.
people. We have to take a pause real quick. So, we are calling each other marks, and as fans, we are all marks. All right, but we all have to deal with it.
For me, brother.
I didn't mean to do that. There it is. I was trying to scroll up. Yeah.
But as a mark, you are also may be able to receive mark bucks.
Yes.
Which I have to make a version 2.0 of that now. I feel like it's only right. But yeah, and then in the other match, LA Knight, who did not know who his opponent was going into the match, ends up being The Miz because of Sheamus being injured, was unable to continue in the tournament.
It wound up being The Miz because of shenanigans that The Miz pulled with replacing his name into Nick Aldis's balls.
I don't know, but what I saw on TV was he straight up drew it, and in the irony of everything, which, by the way, Miz's new outfit or whatever he's wearing, I was really digging that this week.
And I don't know how you didn't see plain as day The Miz swapping his name into the balls.
I completely. Was that when R-Truth was in there talking about his balls?
Yes. Miz, Aldis had the ball open. Miz swapped his name in very obviously. 100%. Aldis was distracted by Truth, and Miz just went in there, yoinked the piece of paper that had whoever's name it was supposed to be, and put his name there.
Yeah, I totally missed that if that's the case.
Yep.
But yeah, in the end, LA Knight still wins anyway. So we have LA Knight and Jey Uso on the other side. Very interesting matchup. This is something we've kind of seen bits and pieces of already throughout the year. I'm happy with both sides. It's just how unfortunate it is. I see Gunther coming out the other side, and probably Jey Uso on this side. It would be their third match against each other.
Yeah, they're 1-1. Finish it off.
Yeah. I agree as well. Solo versus Gunther is a match I really didn't ever have on my bingo card as wanting to see.
Right.
But I am interested in that tomorrow night.
Yeah, one of them heel matches that we don't normally get, but they're fun when they happen.
Something else real quick. We have a new TNA Knockouts champion.
Yes, we do.
Lei Ying Lee wins the Knockouts championship on NXT Gold Rush Week 2.
Formerly known as Xia Li in WWE.
Yep. Kalani
Fired
Jordan
from WWE.
Pinning Kalani Jordan, who was the champ. And after Jordan Grace had already had her down, it was a great spot to be in. How quick that a pinfall can happen like that. All the TNA championships are now back home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
I don't know about that. I really don't. They're not really doing anything interesting with Tessa right now.
Yeah, Victoria Crawford ain't interesting.
And then also on NXT this week, we had the announcements of the Iron Survivor matches for the men and women this Saturday at Deadline. John Cena made the announcement. We'll go over the men's. Actually, we'll go over the women's first because the men's had a match to determine the final one. For the women, he chose Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and current Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray, who in her couple matches I've seen in NXT has looked impressive. It's a big spot for her to be in.
Mm-hmm. Good for her.
What do you guys think of that match and the 5 ladies he chose?
I mean, pretty much, who I would have chosen from the NXT roster. Nice lineup.
And then...
I'm not sure who I personally would have chosen, but I'm not there to choose. The Iron Survivor match actually is meant to elevate people that you may not really have your eye on. You don't know. So there's a reason that exists. And Roxanne Perez is one of those people who came out of there. I had no idea who she was. I was like,
right.
This is, and she, since then, yes, she proved why she deserved to win the Iron Survivor that year.
Now, refresh my memory.
What's that?
I was just going to say, refresh my memory. What is this Iron Survivor match?
It's a combination of an Iron Man match and the old scramble matches.
Okay.
Most pinfalls at the end of the time limit.
Right, I remember it now.
And if a person gets pinned, they go into a penalty box.
Right, yeah, I remember watching it last year. I just couldn't remember
the full rule set.
Yeah. The penalty box. That was, what tied it all together for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The penalty box always gets destroyed at some point, too.
Or jumped off of, or
Yeah.
And then we have the men's Iron Survivor match, which had something extra, a little bit added to it for a qualifying match for it. But John Cena chose from TNA, Leon Slater, Javon Evans, Dion Lennox of Dark State, Joe Hendry. And John Cena says he believes in Joe Hendry.
He won't fight him, but he believes in him.
And then for the final spot, there was a qualifying match in the main event. Trick Williams versus Miles Bourne. Which, after they had quite a decent match, Miles Bourne picks up the win and is the 5th and final person in this match.
Yeah, Trick Williams definitely on his way to main roster. Miles Bourne trending the right direction on NXT in the past few months ever since he got out of No Quarter Catch Crew. So happy to see that for him. And again, another good field. Hopefully there's a good name that comes out of here that we see a rocket strapped to their back.
Yeah, there's a couple people in the men's match I could legitimately see winning.
The men's match is going to be insane.
I don't see Leon Slater winning it, but God, I can see them teasing it down to the end.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry, I really could see him winning it. Him and Ricky Saints would probably be a good match. It would be a lot of entertainment in that match too. And I even believe they might have some indie history with them.
Joe Hendry, I could see why that would be a name people would want to see win it. I don't think he needs to win it. I think this is a thing that needs to be used to elevate someone else. Joe Hendry is in there. He's already got his name. He's already got his spot in WWE. He doesn't need that win. He is in there to help elevate whoever it is that is actually going to win that match.
I mean, at the same time, a Joe Hendry win would be no surprise whatsoever.
I would honestly be surprised if they give him that.
I'm not saying he needs to win by any means, because he doesn't.
He's probably the least needy in that match.
I agree. He's the least one that needs it. It doesn't mean that they won't give it to him, though. But
they never give it to the person who needs it the least. This is one of those ones they give to someone who actually they see potential in and they want people to start paying attention to, not someone that they think, all right, this is someone who's already established. If that was the case, Roxanne Perez would have never won Iron Survivor when she did.
No, I felt like she was pretty established at that point. It was
No,
just
she wasn't.
it was
She
ready
was
to move.
green as hell. She came. That was
When she
early
was
rookie year.
she was already women's North American champion at that point, and also women's tag team champion. She had been established as a heel at that point. She was established at that point. She wasn't established as a main event star yet, but she was established at that point. She had won championships already. And she had the feud with Cora, which doesn't really mean nothing because Cora gets in the ring, hurts herself, and then has to leave anyway. That's why she's on a OF now. But yeah, I look at this.
Well, she threw herself way off balance. Though, that's Cora's fault.
I would say the person that needs it the most would be Miles Bourne to pick up that win.
The way they set it up, it would make sense with him having the match against Trick and everything to get in there, and he's been on the trajectory of someone who would be an Iron Survivor winner.
Dion Lennox is one who could really use it as well. That would really help establish Dark State even more, which is something that I've talked about. Javon Evans doesn't necessarily need it either. I think he gets there either way, but I would love to see him win it.
And Leon Slater's not winning it.
That would be the biggest surprise to see Leon Slater win it.
They're not, a TNA guy isn't going to win it.
Yeah, that would be the biggest surprise. And just the fact that John Cena picked him to be in the match, that's big enough within itself.
Yeah, he's the happy to be here guy.
That should be Dion Lennox, though.
He would actually be my number 2 pick to come out of this with the win right behind Miles Bourne.
Especially with this being a multi-person match, that means Dark State could get involved unless they put some stipulation within that he can't have any help from them.
I don't think that's ever been a stipulation in an Iron Survivor match.
Because usually we don't have.
I don't see why they think to put that in there.
If I go back and look at past ones, I want to say that we've never had somebody in a stable that in this match that's done what Dark State has already done, and attacking people like that. Because if they do interfere, they can literally be one-on-one with all 4 other opponents and just set Dion Lennox up to win. It would be the ultimate heel move. And there's nothing that the referee can do about it.
Yeah.
It's a multi-man match. There's no disqualifications and no countouts.
Right.
So you would have to throw some type of stipulation in there.
I don't think they want that stipulation in there. I think creative doesn't want that stipulation in there.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. If that's how Dion Lennox wins, it hurts. In my opinion, it hurts Dark State more. Because it makes him look weak that he couldn't win that match without the help of his other 3 guys. In a match that is pure chaos already to begin with. We've seen how these matches go. They're chaos.
Yeah.
But, it's something I could see potentially happening is them interfering in that match. And if that does happen and it goes down in a way a la a Retribution Shield or Nexus type way where they come in and just wipe out the rest of the competitors for him to pin, it makes him look weak and it does not make him look like a credible championship contender. Which is something every previous winner has looked like coming out as a legit competitor to win a world championship.
Yes. Or
you're hurting the talent.
Or you're showing him as a smart leader of troops who is able to get all of his team on the same page and get to the ultimate goal.
Right,
of bringing that belt to the group. Or becoming the Iron Survivor and leading from there.
But the best way to do it, which I really can see happening, is Dark State is banned from ringside during this match. He cannot have any help from them. Now, if another
I don't
heel,
see a reason to ban Dark State from ringside.
why? Because
Right.
they interfere. Because they interfere.
I don't
in
see that as a
everything.
reason to ban them.
But they
No, I
interfere in
disagree.
everything. That is the perfect reason within the pro
No.
wrestling landscape to do it.
No, not with this type of match. No.
We've
Yeah,
seen people banned. We've seen people banned from ringside for cage matches and other matches like this,
And
to
it's
where they
stupid.
bring. It's not stupid because they still somehow interfere anyway.
That's why it's stupid.
Yeah.
But what you do is, instead of having Dark State come out, you have another heel come out, attack another person, which opens up Dion Lennox to get the win without their
Now
help.
we're getting too confusing and convoluted
Yeah.
for no reason.
No, it's
I-
really not. You
I
have
think
to be. If Dark State interferes, it makes him look weak.
I disagree. Dark State
makes
doesn't
him look
care. Yeah, but Dark State doesn't care about looking weak. They're a faction, and they'll do what it takes to win the titles. They don't
I
care.
get that. I get that, but
You know,
it doesn't make him look like a credible. So what happens when there's a championship match and they can't interfere in it, or else he
They
loses
interfere
the match?
anyway.
And then he loses the match, and they wasted the Iron Survivor.
I'm not saying, that's what's going
This
to
isn't-
happen,
this
but
isn't
in this
something-
scenario, it doesn't necessarily make him look weak because they're a faction whose goal is to win. They'll do whatever it takes. It's not about one of them, it's about all of them.
But when you're going to when it comes down to a one-on-one match, are we going to look at Dark State or are we going to look at Dion Lennox? We're not going to look at Dark State as a whole. Yes, they can interfere in the match, but when it comes down to it, they're not the ones in there to win the match. It's for Dion Lennox to win it. And if they come out, he's going to look like a weak Iron Survivor. Now, if they don't interfere and somebody else... But if you look at this, you could have somebody come out and have it tied, and somebody comes out and attacks the next person who could be winning, and Dion Lennox steals the pinfall after that. You don't need Dark State to interfere in this match. It does nothing for their story.
Especially don't need him to,
but you need
unless
you need
he
Leon,
wins.
You need Leon Lennox or Dion Lennox to be built up as a legit competitor. Otherwise, he looks weak, and there's no point in giving it to him.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to win or anything. I was just saying in this scenario, I don't think that matters.
With everything Dark State does, and there's history of it happening in these type of situations, Dark State could be banned from ringside.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah. I definitely see him interfering. Whether or not they're banned from ringside.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I also see that as well. But the attempt to stop the interference to allow the match to play out as it should.
I don't see anything like that in the contract.
Nobody here has seen the contract. We do not work for WWE.
No kidding. But I don't foresee that being a clause in the contract once all is said and done and we know what the contract says. Better?
We'll never know truly what the contract says, besides the person gets a guaranteed championship match.
We'll know if they ever say Dark State is banned from ringside.
Now,
I don't see those words ever coming out of someone's mouth in regards to this match.
But if Dion Lennox wants to prove himself to be credible, he has to win this match without their help. I'm not saying somebody else.
He doesn't see it that way. I don't see it that way.
All right,
You're the one person seeing it that way right now.
I have one other scenario. Miles Bourne is geared and tied with Dion Lennox. Trick Williams comes out, attacks Miles Bourne. Dark State is not needed to interfere in this match. You can get there in other ways.
But one of their members is in the match, so they're going to interfere in the match.
They don't need to.
Yeah, but
Who said
one
need?
of their members is in the match, so why wouldn't they interfere?
Now, the most thing I would see is them interfering closer into the beginning of the match to try to get him a nice jump on points, but they can't be a factor in the finish of the match. It has to come from somewhere else. Otherwise, it makes him look weak. Nobody's going to take him serious.
Yeah, still disagreeing with all that.
I don't think they care about that.
Yeah.
As it has been said, Ava loves to ban people from ringside in these situations. This is not something that is new to the world of professional wrestling by any means.
I don't see it coming. Just don't see it coming, personally. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
I'm just saying, Dark State does not need to be involved in this match as a full group.
Probably not, but I don't think they're going to get banned. I don't think anyone ever says the word Dark State is banned from the Iron Survivor.
You're right. They won't be banned
With-
from ringside. They'll be
Hold
banned
on.
from the building.
Unless-
Even better, they get banned from the building.
Unless something happens Tuesday. Now, sure, yeah, they're going to get banned if they attack the whole locker room Tuesday, but barring anything like that happening Tuesday, there's no reason for them to be banned.
Right.
But I mean, them coming down at the end of the match last week with Miles Bourne winning and attacking him's reason enough.
No, it's not.
They didn't interfere.
Right.
That is reason
Nope.
enough.
They weren't even there at ringside, so ban them from ringside. Sure, they'll still come out after and beat everyone up, you know?
No, but the fact is, this is an MO that has to be dealt with. This is something to where they can affect the entire way that match plays out.
Yes.
And that's something that has to be avoided.
Does it?
Otherwise, because it makes the Iron Survivor look weak.
So hold on, Iron Survivor, is that no DQ?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a multi-man match.
They're definitely in.
Yeah,
they're
that's what
definitely
I'm.
interfering then,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely there. It's predictable.
Obviously,
The better-
yeah, multi-man, right.
Yeah, it's better to go the route to not have them be the one to interfere. And Dion Lennox just benefits from somebody else coming into the match and interfering, taking somebody else out that he scores the pinfall off to win.
That's
it makes
better,
him look.
sure, but it doesn't mean that Dark State's not going to come in and help, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be banned from ringside.
It would be better to go that route. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Because,
but
like, 'cause
WWE right now is not about doing a better storyline.
No, NXT is about doing better storylines.
Sometimes.
The main roster storylines are where things, but we are getting down toward the end of the show here.
We didn't even talk AEW.
I was
who
just
cares?
about to get there real quick. Continental Classic started this week. We
Continental Classic?
the Continental Classic.
Oh, I
started
heard Continental. My bad.
Started this week. We had Kevin Knight of Speed of
Saraya's brother.
No, Jesus, no,
What?
no, not Saraya's brother. The guy that tags teams with Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight.
Oh, very different.
We
guy.
had him pick up an upset win over Darby Allin in the opening match for the Continental Classic.
Huh. How about
Oh,
that?
no, I'm sorry. Kyle Fletcher defeats Okada again in the Classic for the second year in a row.
Oh, bitch.
Mox beat Dorada. Claudio beat Orange Cassidy. And then we had Takeshita beat Roderick Strong on Collision, and Pac defeat Mike Bailey. Continental Classic, one of my favorite things from AEW during the year. Definitely one of the things that I like to talk about and pay attention to. Yeah, man, we just had a lot to talk about this week, and we got a little sidetracked at times. Welcome
we
to
got a
BJ
little
and DG
debatey.
Talk Wrestling.
We got a little debatey there.
You'll learn that I intentionally say things wrong a lot just for comedic effect.
But yeah, we had some of our friends of the show here today, like Ryan Milkey from Wrestle Realm. We had Wyatt Wrestling from Wyatt Wrestling Club on YouTube and Instagram, also on Discord, and I believe also on Twitch possibly. But yeah, this Tuesday, join if you're into indie wrestling stuff. Join us as we will be talking about indie wrestling.
What
And
a weekend it was. Friday night was an amazing show.
Yes. Also, thank you for coming in today, Rick Blade, which we had him on our just previous Tuesday show.
Yeah, champ.
As always, Ryan. But it is time for us to get out of here. Ref, shall I ring that bell?
Maybe one. Two. Oh, wait. Did we do a match of the week? Kick out.
Men's War Games. Quick fire. Let's go.
Men's War Games, too. Yes.
Cena Dom.
All right. And on that note,
And
everybody.
1, 2, 3. Ring the bell.
We will see you next week for another episode of BJ and DG Talk Wrestling.
Everybody watching, I'm going to need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm going to need you to check out BJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, because you'll